to arrive to your practice, getting settled in, trying to let go of any of those thoughts or feelings from the long day. Just starting to deepen your breath, feeling the rise and the fall of your lungs. Maybe you'll readjust in your child's pose and stretch out longer. Practicing with an intention is something that you like to do. Maybe you'll breathe for a few moments with an intention. Maybe thinking of a word or a phrase or a dedication to your practice. From our easy child's pose, we'll just walk our hands over towards the right side. Stack your left palm on top of your right. Find this big lateral side body stretch here. Try to sink that hip back towards its respective heel to deepen your stretch. Draw a big breath here, and then exhale and walk your hands through center. Take them over towards the left side. This time we're going to stack that right palm on top of the left. Again, drawing a big breath, fill that right side body up full of air. And then exhale, travel your hands through center. We're going to bring our palms to touch. Make little prayer hands, and then bend those elbows, bringing your palms towards the nape of your neck, finding this easy stretch for the triceps here. Exhaling and sending those arms long once again, resinking into your extended child's pose. We're going to get ready to start moving a little bit here. So on a big inhale, we're going to roll up into our big swan pose. We want to come up onto the knees, press the hips forward towards the wrists, lift the crown of the head, find a great big stretch in your abdomen here. Draw a big breath, and then on your exhale, we're going to resink into our extended child's pose. We're not going to stay long. We're going to take a big breath, and we're going to roll back up into our swan. Draw a breath, and then sink back to child's pose. Now we're just going to start these little flows at our own pace. We want to practice linking our breath with our movement. Find other areas where you can link your movement with your body here, maybe rolling the head and the crown forward, and then maybe lifting the heels higher, dipping those hips forward, trying to make big, exaggerated motions here. Next time you're forward into your swan pose on those knees with the heels lifted, pause. We're going to gently release the tops of the feet down. Find your upward facing dog. Maybe lift the crown of the head a little higher. And on an exhale, we're going to start to gently roll down, leading with our heart space. Sweep your arms down by your side. Bring your favorite ear to the mat. On an inhale, we'll just gently lift the crown of the head, switch gears for a moment, taking out this little neck stretch. We're all going to lift the crown of the head for a moment here. We're going to extend that right arm out long. Spread those palms, flatten the palm onto the earth, and we're going to draw that left hand under the left shoulder. Press a little bit of weight to that palm. Bend the left leg, bringing the sole of the foot towards the sky, and then when you're ready, roll over towards your right side, finding your little broken wing stretch here. Maybe you'll press actively into the palm of that left hand to deepen this stretch. Try and imagine if you could stack your shoulders here. Take that left leg of ours, start to extend it high, lifting it up towards the ceiling, really flex through that foot. Bend that knee, and when you're ready, we're going to roll down onto our bellies, finding our half frog pose into that left hip. You want to keep that 90-degree bend in that left leg. Try to actively press your hip into the floor here to deepen this hip opener. Flex through that left heel as well to give yourself a nice strong leg here. And we're going to re-extend that left leg to meet the right. And then we'll slide that left arm out long, drawing the right palm under its shoulder, bending the right leg, and then when you're ready, find your second half of that shoulder stretch, rolling out towards the left side this time. Into that right palm, we're going to think about lifting that right knee and then extending that leg high. Bending that leg once again, try and draw that knee high, and then roll onto your belly, landing softly into your second half of your half frog expression. Just gently re-extend that right leg to meet the left. We're going to take our palms to the corner edges of our mat, and on an inhale, start to press into the palms. Lift the crown of the head once again. Come up into your big hooded cobra. Take a big breath here, and then on an exhale, start to gently roll back down onto your belly. We'll take another one of those. So inhale, starting to lift through the upper back. Draw the crown of the head high. And then exhale, round it all back down. We're going to draw our hands under our shoulders, gently tucking the toes. Press up into your all fours position. Take some sways in your hips here from side to side. We're all going to actually step our knees real close together. Zip your legs up a little closer than you normally would. We're just going to start some big circles in the hips here. Starting to lean onto one knee and then the other. Find that big external rotation in the outside of your hips here. Maybe you're spinning one direction and then maybe you change it when it feels good, circling out the other way, evening out. Stillness in our neutral spine. Step those knees underneath their hips. Find your traditional expression of your tabletop. We're going to gently tuck those toes and cover the knees and start to extend through the backs of the legs, hiking those hips up to the sky and finding your expression of your downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet here. Lift one heel and lower the other. On an inhale, we're going to draw that right leg right knee towards our nose and then gently step the foot between the hands. Lower that back knee. We're going to sweep our arms forward and up into our vinyasa. We're going to think about coming into a water wheel expression. So we're going to take that right hand of ours, start to draw it towards the back of the mat. Draw that left arm forward. Try and find this big twist in the upper body. Maybe you'll look back and towards that extended right thumb. Keeping that rotation in the spine, we're going to find our lunge twist. So we're going to plant the palm of that left hand, draw that right arm high overhead. With that extension in the spine, we're going to take our left toes and gently kickstand them out towards the right side. Draw that right arm forward and down and start to crawl yourself out towards the left side diagonal of your mat. You want to find this big squaring in your right hip. Try to draw that right knee away while pressing into the palms here. Deepening your breath, we're going to start to walk our hands back towards our foot. Bring that left leg back in line. We're going to gently stack our palms on the top of that right knee. And gently sink a little deeper here. We're going to hold this for a few deep breaths, finding this expression of our dragon here. You want to keep that lift in the spine and the crown of the head. Find that stretch in the left hip flexor as well as that right hamstring in that hip. From this position, we're going to think about tucking those left toes. And on a big, big inhale, we're going to lift the left knee and roll up into our crescent lunge. Heavy in that right foot. We're going to open up into our warrior two on a big exhale. Part the hands. Open up in that right hip. Parallel the arms here. You want to flatten out in that back foot. Try and you want to draw that right hip open and away. Stacking your shoulders over your waist. And bending gently into that front knee. We'll extend through the right leg. We're coming into triangle next, so we're going to reach forward with that right hand. And then exhale and bring that hand down toward the ankle or shin. Peel the left arm high. On an inhale, we're going to rise back up. Rebend into the right knee into your warrior two. Cartwheel those hands down to frame out the right foot. Find runner's lunge for a moment. We'll sweep that right foot back to meet the left, and then press your hips high. Find down dog. On a big breath, we're going to stretch the left leg this time up into the air. We'll draw that knee towards our nose and then stamp that foot between the hands. Dropping the right knee and tucking those toes. Sweep your arms forward and up on a big breath. Vinyasa. Then we're going to find that water wheel expression. So reaching the right arm forward, left arm finds the back corner of the mat. Keeping that rotation going, we're going to find that lunge twist, planting the palm of the right hand, lifting the left arm high. We're going to slowly start to kickstand those right toes out towards the left edge of the mat. And then reaching that left arm forward and across, we're going to walk our upper body towards the right side diagonal. And pressing that left hip wide, opening up, finding that big hip stretch. of those hands back around. We're going to bring those right toes of ours back in line with the mat. Bring your palms to stack on the top of that left knee. Gently start to re-bend into that knee like you would in your Anjaneyasana. Just keep that support of your palms here. Now we're going to think about tucking our back toes, powering back up in that right knee. Rise up into your crescent lunge. Draw a big breath here, and then on your exhale, unwind, find warrior two. Extending through the left knee. Reach forward, and then bring that hand down toward the angular shin. We want to lift and lengthen in our triangle pose. Try not to round. We want to imagine that we can stack our arms, lift that lifted arm high, and open up across the front of the body. Inhale, we'll rise up, rebend into the left knee, warrior two. Inhale, and then exhale, cartwheel your hands down, frame out the foot. We'll sweep that leg back to meet the right. Press your hips high to the sky and find down dog. You can walk, hop, or step your feet towards your hands, the top edge of the mat, finding your forward fold. And keeping that soft bend in your knees here, come into your ragdoll expression. Support your low back with that nice bend in the knees. Let your upper body hang heavy here. Maybe you'll sway or bind opposite elbows, or maybe you'll give your backs of your legs a big hug here and take a nice little restorative fold. Decided on, we're going to release those arms long, keeping that bend in your knees. Bring some weight to the heels. Slowly start to roll up your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, allowing the crown of the head to arrive last. Maybe you'll take some rolls of your shoulders or some sways of your arms. Exhale and re-fold. On an inhale, we're going to lift through the crown of the head, rise up, sweep your arms out and away, bring the palms together, and then exhale, draw your hands into heart center. We're going to lift the left knee high, coming into our little crane pose for a second here. And we're going to step back into our warrior one, so hinging slightly, finding that 45-degree angle in that back foot. Inhale those arms high. In our warrior one, we want to press those hips forward. The difference between our warrior one and our crescent is mostly that foot. Also, that hip is a little bit more squared out in your your crescent lunge. So thinking about that, we want to try and press those hips to be square here. We'll release our hands to bind behind our back. Draw your knuckles down, open up across the front of the body here. Take a big inhale. On your exhale, we're going to hinge forward out towards the left side diagonal, finding our humble warrior expression, pressing firmly into that right foot. release the grip of the hands, sweep the arms forward and up, warrior one. On an exhale, we're going to cartwheel those hands down, frame out that foot into a runner's lunge. Step that left foot forward to meet the right. Exhale and find your fold. Inhale into a halfway lift. Exhale and refold. Inhale, find your reverse swan dive, rise up to stand, sweep your arms up into the sky. Exhale, draw into your heart space. This time we're going to get right in that right leg, light in that right leg. Lifting that knee high, finding that short balance here. Slowly hinging. We're going to take that big step with that foot towards the back of the mat. Finding your base, and when you're ready, finding the full expression of warrior one. Releasing the hands to bind. Draw those hands down, open up across the front of the body here. Take a big breath, and then exhale, hinge forward, coming into your humble warriors. Inhale and rise, release the grip, sweep the arms forward and up. And we'll exhale and cartwheel the hands down. Stepping that, well, we'll step that right foot forward to meet the left. Sorry guys. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale and rise, back up to stand. Sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, draw into your heart space. Once again, we're going to get heavy in that right foot. Inhale and lift that left knee high. We're going to take a big lunging step towards the back edge of the mat. This time we're going to extend through that front leg. Release your hands to your back or maybe to your hips. We're going to slowly, with control, hinge forward over that leg, finding this expression of your pyramid. Maybe you'll take a little step with that back left foot to shorten the distance. You can get a deeper fold often. On an inhale, we're going to lift back up to a tall spine. If your hands aren't on your hips, gently release them there. Or turn those turn those right toes towards the left edge of the mat. Inhale, lift the crown of the head, draw your shoulder blades back. And then on an exhale, start to gently hinge forward into your fold here. Once you've found your edge, release your hands towards the floor. Maybe you'll heel toe your feet a little wider if it's accessible to you. Take your fold any way you would like. We're going to gently walk our hands underneath our shoulders. Find that halfway lifted spine. We're going to walk our hands towards the right ankle and gently reach for the ankle or the shin and draw the crown of your head towards your shin or your knee rather. Find that big stretch in that right hamstring. Gently releasing, we're going to walk those hands back underneath our shoulders. Slowly, with control, we're going to start to sink into that left hip at the back edge of the mat, finding your Skandasana here. Maybe you'll draw your hands at your heart center, or maybe you'll support your palms on the floor. Play with your range of motion in this posture here. Then pressing into that left hip, we're going to rise all the way back up, re-extend towards the top of the mat, find warrior two. Inhale and cartwheel the hands down to frame out that foot. We're going to step the left foot forward to meet the right. Find your fold. Inhale and halfway lift. Exhale and refold. Inhale, we'll rise all the way up to stand. Sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, bring them together at heart center. This time we're going to spread those left toes wide. Gently lifting that right knee for a moment here, and then taking that short half step towards the back edge of the mat. Let's see. So warrior one. We draw our hands up high here. Did we take a humble warrior, or did we go extend into pyramid, right? Yes. All right, so we're going to release our hands to our back. Find that extension through the left leg. Maybe your hands are at your hips, or maybe you'll fold your hands on your bind, and then gently start to hinge, leading with your heart space over that front left leg. Inhaling and lifting through the crown of the head. We'll release our hands towards our hips. Quarter turn the left toes this time out towards the right edge of the mat. Inhale, lift the crown of the head. Then exhale, hinge forward at your hips. Find your Pasarita fold here. Maybe you'll bring your hands under your shoulders. Maybe you'll reach for ankles or big toes here. I like to reach my palms for the left side of the mat and give myself a gentle little pull here. We'll eventually meet with those fingertips or palms under the shoulders, finding that halfway lift in our spine. Then we're going to travel those hands towards the left ankle, gently bow over that extended leg, finding this expression of your fold here. We want to find that hamstring stretch in the left hand. And then on an inhale, releasing the grip, we'll travel those hands back under the shoulder and start to bend into that right knee, settling into your ninja lunge at the back corner of the mat. Maybe you'll, once again, bring your palms to support yourself, or maybe you'll bring your hands together at prayer. Pressing heavily into that right foot. We're going to re-extend, rise all the way up, bend into that left knee, find warrior two at the top of the mat. Take a big breath here, and then cartwheel those hands down, framing out that foot. This time we're going to sweep the left foot back to meet the right, find your high plank. And gently lower your knees, press back to child's pose here. On an inhale, we're just going to roll back up into our tabletop position. Take whatever little bits of movement feel good here. Maybe a cat and cow or some sways in your hips. We're just going to extend that left leg long behind us gently for a moment. Keep those toes tucked. And then slowly start to slide that right knee towards the right wrist, and then wiggle those toes out towards the left edge. Start to settle into your expression of your sleeping pigeon here, stacking your weight on that hip, and then walking your forearms down. And maybe melting even further, maybe your palms will stack, and maybe your forehead will find it. deeper breath and walking those hands and that upper body nice and tall here. We're going to take that left knee of ours and start to wiggle it out towards the right edge of the mat. And then slowly start to press back. We want to cross that right knee over the top of the left, settling into our cow face pose. Now, this is a road less traveled in my yoga practice. So what we want to do is I like to grab onto the outer edges of my feet and sort of give myself a little tug like a bow tie here. You want to sort of get that stacking sensation that you would feel in that pigeon here, or almost like a fire log pose. Maybe you'll even hinge a little bit forward here to see how that feels to deepen this stretch. We're going to start to gently lift the hips, start to unwind, twist out towards the left side, keep the hips rotating, and then sink into your cow face pose in the opposite hip.
And if you do this at Winter Springs, the personal training manager thinks it's witchcraft.
You have to trust the process because it can be a little confusing. That was really the only reason why I wanted to do that one, because I think that's fun.
That's the only reason I take cow face. I like to spin.
But once again, maybe you'll readjust and give yourself that little crosser wrapping. Maybe you'll find that little hinge forward, and maybe the palms will reach as well. Forward into our tabletop position. We're not going to forget about that half pigeon, so we're going to stretch that right leg long, keep the toes tucked slightly, and then wiggle that left knee forward towards the wrist, and then take the toes out towards the right side, and sinking that leg long. Find that big tall spine, and when you're ready, starting to ease yourself into your sleeping pigeon expression, breathing nice and deep here. Walk those palms back under the shoulders, lifting through the spine. Find that tall spine here. We're going to sink onto the outside of our left hip. And then think about sliding the sole of the top of that right knee into the sole of that left foot. And then finding this big tall twist, we're just going to walk our upper body towards the left edge of the mat. Keep your tall spine. You can fold if you would like. I like to keep a nice tall spine here and sort of imagine I'm wrapping my upper body here. Maybe you'll look over that left shoulder to deepen your twist. Turning towards the top edge of the mat, we're just going to swing both legs forward. Bring a gentle bend into your knees here, and then we're going to thread our arms underneath our legs. Find this little restorative tuck and round your chin towards your chest. Maybe you'll slowly start to extend through the legs to deepen this stretch. Gently lifting the crown of the head, unthread your arms here. We're just going to bring a big bend into that right leg and then a bend into that left one. Bring the sole of the right foot on the top of the left knee, making your little mermaid legs here. And then walking your arms towards the right corner or the back of the mat here, finding that big tall twist, even twist here. Both legs forward again. This time you can take the same option as before with that nice restorative seat if it's more comfortable for your back. Maybe you'll find that extension through the legs. Maybe you'll inhale and stretch your arms high. And then maybe you'll exhale and start to dive forward over the legs, reaching for the ankles or the soles of the feet or the big toes. Tabletop, starting to press those hips high, lift the crown of the head, really press into the soles of the feet here, squeeze the glutes. And then on an exhale, lowering the hips back down. We're going to keep that bend in our knees. Slowly start to roll down onto your back. Find your little bridge prep shape. We want to walk our heels in a little close, maybe bringing the legs a little closer. Maybe some sways of the knees from side to side feel good. We're going to do a couple rounds of our bridge here. So what we want to do, we want to bring our palms to our side. Spread your toes wide, bring some weight into the heels. Find that nice low spot of your lower back onto the mat. And on your next big inhale, we're going to press into the heels and then lift those hips high off the mat. Once again, you want to squeeze your glutes here. Maybe you can peel your shoulder blades off the mat. Draw a big breath. And then exhale, lower it all into the mat. We'll take some little windshield wipes of our knees here from side to side between rounds. Eventually we'll find stillness with that little bend in our knees. Make those little adjustments for your bridge, and then when you're ready, take a big breath and then send those hips high to the sky. Exhale, lower it all down. This time we're going to draw our knees in towards our chest. Curl up into a little ball. Take some gentle rocks here from side to side. come into your happy baby expression, maybe reaching for the outer corners of your feet or ankles and trying to actively draw those knees down. You want to find that big hip opening stretch. Keep those rocks going from side to side here. From our little happy babies, we're going to draw the soles of the feet together and the knees wide, finding your little reclined butterfly here. I like to wrap the outer edges of my feet, and then with those knees drawn wide, try and pull those feet down towards your heart space. Maybe you'll even lift the crown of the head. Release the outer edges of the feet. Draw the knees back together for a moment. Take some more of those gentle rocks. We'll release the sole of the left foot gently onto the floor. Keep that bend into the right knee. Maybe you'll draw it in a little close here. Cross that right leg over the top of the left. Find your little eagle wrapped legs here. You want to try and really draw those legs close. Take your arms out to your side into a T shape here. Then we're going to allow those legs just to start to gently flow here from side to side. Doesn't matter which side you start with. Trying to find this movement in the low spine here, this gentle little twist. Around here. Next time those legs are over towards the right side, pause. Allow them to fall over. Maybe you'll gently extend that right leg slightly to deepen this twist. You want to allow that right ankle to hang heavy on the top of that left knee. Through center, we'll gently uncross the right leg, maybe extending it long, taking a roll or two of your ankle here. And we're going to bend that right leg, bring it down to meet the left. Keeping the bend in the knees, we'll gently start to draw the left knee in close this time. Give it a little hug at the top here. And then when you're ready, we're going to cross that left knee over the top of the right, finding our little eagle wrapped legs. Getting that tight crossing. And then maybe you'll re-extend your arms out to a T shape and then start to find those flows of the legs here from side to side at your own pace. Next time your legs are flowing over towards the left side, pause and allow those legs to linger. Maybe you'll gently uncross that left leg slightly to deepen your stretch, keeping that hook of the ankle on the knee. whatever final movements you would like to round out your practice, maybe an inversion or maybe some gentle back bends, or maybe you'll just release into an early shavasana. If you're looking for an easy inversion, maybe you'll lift the arms and the legs and find your sleeping tiger, just breathing nice and easy. Whenever you're ready, we'll gently all descend into our final posture, our shavasana. Extending your arms and your legs. Gently letting go into your lovely place of stillness. And I will bring you back here shortly. Gently starting to deepen your breath. Inviting some small movements back to your body, maybe stretching the arms long, maybe moving the fingers and the toes. Maybe you'll draw your knees back in towards your chest and curl back